Hello, everybody. This is Football Psych, and I'm Coach Mad Mike.
It is a large Sarge.
All right, Lord Sarge, we got a whole lot to talk about tonight. We don't know if Shaq is going to join us. So, all you fans that are watching here, if he joins us, he joins us. Last time I heard, he was stuck in Dallas on a tarmac waiting in the aircraft. His flight was severely delayed, as all flights that go through Dallas. There's some place called the Dallas area that nobody wants to be in. This freaking sorry Dallas area where you
I wish
never
the Cowboys always work like the Dallas airport does.
They do actually, man. The freaking Dallas area is like the freaking Bermuda Triangle, man. You can go in there and get lost, man.
Man, I'm telling you.
But I will tell you what, it's a beautiful weekend that we just had because the Commanders won and the Cowboys lost.
Oh.
And Shaq was there in a bar, apparently, just living it up, absolutely loving the fact and running Cowboys out of their own bar because, he was being Shaq.
Oh, giving them hell.
Giving them hell.
Oh, my God. I wouldn't have wanted to been there.
All right. Well, I hope he does get a chance. I hope he does travel safely, and I hope he is able to join us.
We need to get this channel over 100,000 subs so we can get him some security details when he does this. I'm worried. I'm literally worried for his safety.
Yeah.
He pushes it.
He does. He pushes it hard, man. That dude pushes it real hard.
I love it. It's fun to watch.
For all you fans out there that want to watch the show, we are on the eve, not of the presidential election, because that's going to happen whatever happens. I've already voted. Who gives a flip? I'm talking about the NFL trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
It is tomorrow.
Why would they put that on election day? Why wouldn't they move it back? I mean, why?
Because the NFL sucks and they don't think ahead, but it's always week 8, and it's always at the end of week 8. There's a trade deadline for that, and it has to be done, and it's always done the Tuesday before the week 9 season starts. So it is what it is. That's where it usually happens.
Once every 7 years.
Yeah, it just happens.
It falls on election day.
Yeah, so it just happened to fall on election day, and like most people who are burnt out from the elections, where the voting will not be done and the polls will still be open, we get to pay attention to the trade deadline, and there's a possibility there might be some movement there, Large Sarge.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff. So. Hopefully some fans will hear join us real soon, but I will tell you, I think that there might be a small window where the Commanders might make a move. What do you think, Large Sarge?
They need to, right? It's only the schedule's getting tougher and tougher every week, right? And we really didn't get to talk about the Monday night game, the Bears game, which I want to get into just a little bit, but that was a game we shouldn't have won. But we did, and I'm happy we did. A dub's a dub. No matter how ugly it comes, it's a dub, right? But we got beat, right? So they whatever happened with that, thank gosh we came out with a win. It was motivation, and they look like a different team this week. And I literally just got done watching the coaches film on it, and I got a lot of commentary. Plus, there were some more records. They're setting records every week. You want to hear a good one
about those records? What kind of records are we talking about?
You want to hear a mind-blowing one?
Yeah, tell me a mind-blowing record.
They set a record that goes so far back that it was before the forward pass was approved in the league. That's how far back it goes.
Holy crap.
33. You want to take a wild guess what that record is?
It couldn't have been for passing if the passing wasn't around yet.
Nope. That's all right. Turnovers. They're the first team since 1933 to go 9 games with only 3 turnovers. Now, I know we've dropped the ball a couple times, but we actually only have 3 turnovers. Yeah.
How's that a record, man? Like, how do people come up with these records? Like,
I don't know.
We're going to have a record for the team that can go the most games with the fewest amount of turnovers, but like that turnover number is 3.
Think about their success so far, and my prediction for 9 games, and they're at 7. And think about how important that factor is to those wins, the wins that we've had, the lack of turnovers.
Yeah.
How that has put us in a winning position so far.
Well, let's go back
huge. It's a huge record.
Yeah, to me, that doesn't sound like a real record to me. But like
It's a real record.
It's it really. I don't think it really is. I think what it is people found
it's a fact.
People found a stat where it is a fact, but it's not a real record. Real records are based off of like receiving yards, passing yards.
Yeah.
You always get these freaking freaking maniacs that get out there and go, this is the team that had the fewest turnovers because they only had 3 turnovers in 9 games.
Coach.
Okay, great. But that's not a real record.
Coach Van Mike, any NFL coach would love to be in their spot right now. Would trade them for anything.
Of course. But that's not a real NFL record.
It is a record.
It's not a record.
They're the first team since 1933.
Okay, but nobody gets a plaque for that.
Now watch them go out and do 5 turnovers the next game. Blow it on to hell.
Nobody can hold on to the ball.
I'm not jinxing you.
Yeah, okay. Hey, nobody can hold on to freaking ball. This is crazy. So
Daniels had another record too, and the guy continues to impress.
Right. So, but yeah,
I just thought it was a really cool fact. And you go back and you think about it, well, it's like, we've had more chances for turnovers, but we covered them up, right? Somebody drops the ball and we step on it. So Lady Luck is shining on this team. It's kind of the underneath point. Like it was like the Lions, right? For all those years I've been a Lions fan, Lady Luck just was looking in the other direction. It just wasn't a shine on. And for whatever reason, this year, Lady Luck has definitely got her eye on the Redskins, on the Commanders.
Yeah. For all those that are watching, please put your comments in the comment section. We really want to hear from you about your comments about the game. We're going to keep talking about it, but we want to be able to hear from you. We definitely are interested in your comments, so go ahead and chime on in. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to do is, obviously we're on an extraordinary streak, far exceeding anybody's expectations from the beginning of the year. Everybody said that this team would go like 5 and only win 5 games. Shaq was at 8. You said 2. I said 8. You said there's a possibility we can get 9, which I was like, wow, okay.
I said 9.
Now, but I will tell you what, Nobody thought we would be where we're at right now.
Oh, no.
Nobody thought that.
Yeah, like if we had videos with 7 games, everyone would have been, okay, it's a rebuild, and that was a good improvement.
Yeah, and I'm okay. Like, even if we don't win another game for the rest of the year, we've improved over last year.
That's right.
We've improved.
That's
right. This is a franchise that's trending in the right direction for the first time in probably 3 decades. There's excitement in Washington.
You know what? Here's another stat that ain't a record.
Yeah, another stat that ain't a stat. Yeah, okay,
it's the first time we've been 7-2 since 1996.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. 1996, wasn't that the days of like
Gibbs era?
Was that Gibbs era? Or was Gibbs already gone by then?
He might have been gone a year or two, but it was Gibbs era.
Yeah, because we had our last Super Bowl in '92, and I think it was probably a year or 2 after that he was probably gone. So, but no, that's a very interesting stat because, like I said, 90s, like 96. That was the year I graduated college because I'm an old as crap fart, man. Like that's how long ago that has been. Holy crap, man!
That's gone back a ways, right? Hell, a lot of our fans ain't been alive that long.
Oh my goodness, man! That was back in the days I was single, man, freaking tearing it up as a young man in college, man.
So any fan that's been a fan, for a while now would have to go all the way back to 96 to have a season like we're having right now. And a lot of men wouldn't be alive right now.
And we talked about this
28 years. It's 28 years.
Yeah, it's 28 freaking years. But we talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the season, like the possibility of doing something like the Houston Texans for CJ Stroud. And it's coming to life, man. It's a real possibility that we got some good things going. So, like I said, fans, if you guys are on here listening to the show, go ahead and put your comments in there. We'd like to hear from you. Don't be silent. This is just a YouTube channel where you get to watch. This is a participation sport. So come on out there and freaking participate. Throw your comments in the comments section.
Absolutely. We want to hear from you. So Coach, you're training me up. Hey, Jack, how you doing? Nice to see you out there, buddy.
Jack, yes, Jack.
I'm training up every week. I'm watching Coach's film. I'm writing numbers down on my fan pad here. I'm trying to keep track to see what's going on. And I don't know if you had a plan for tonight, but there were a couple of areas that I wanted to talk about and get your opinion on as a coach, from me being a fan of what I saw as a fan, but what you thought as a coach.
Okay, we'll get into it.
So as we all know, Robinson was out this week.
Yep.
And the plan was going to be to see who was going to be the run. Obviously, Eckler was going to get most of the carries, but who was going to be the guy behind Eckler to give him some relief, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm watching the game through the second quarter, it was all Eckler up front. And then right at the end of the second quarter, they started to get McNichols in there. And in the third and fourth quarter, you got to see Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And I really love the ratio of run to pass attempts in there and how they put the running game together. And they just said, we don't care for next man up. And I really, I'm a fan of McCluster Duck. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, McNichols. I just call you McCluster Duck. It's just your name with me. I like you. I like you a lot. But looking at really studying the film and looking at the difference between how the two run, generally speaking, I'd say, 1-2 gap runs, both of them. It seems like Rodriguez is 1 or 2 steps faster.
Yeah.
And has a little bit more leg, a little more thigh, a little more power.
Right. So in my opinion, I was a little shocked at final roster cuts. Final roster cuts at the beginning of the season, I had Robinson, Eckler, and Rodriguez. I had Rodriguez being the number 3 running back, and I had McNichols going to the practice squad. That shocked me when McNichols made the team and Rodriguez hit the practice squad. Yeah. I was not prepared for that because I actually think Rodriguez is the better running back. I believe that he has a chance to be a lot more complete. He's a lot more physical of a runner. But McNichols shined in the preseason, so I get it. It was just a matter of time before Rodriguez was going to get back on this roster and be activated. But Rodriguez was activated, obviously, because of the Brian Robinson injury.
You know what it looked like to me, Coach? Mm-hmm. It looked like they called McNichols' number, and he was just standing around on the sideline saying, man, I'm going to get a play, and didn't warm up. Because his first 5 or 6 runs all got stuffed, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, he busted a few tackles. But then there was this change in the fourth quarter where it looked like he got warmed up, and then he started busting some stuff. Whereas Robinson came in and started cutting the field right away.
You mean Rodriguez?
Rodriguez, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so the numbers aren't real good. Like, I'm not real a fan of either one of these guys, to be honest with you. I think like in due time, both these guys are going to be off the roster. So like Austin Eckler's probably got a couple years with his team. I think Robinson's the future of this team, and we're going to be looking for other running backs in the future.
But Coach, Eckler might be on this last year with us. We might get another year. It could be one of those 2 guys.
He's probably going to be around next year too. But we probably only got a couple years with him, and then he's going to be gone. McNichols and Rodriguez, I'm not, these guys are going to be guys that are going to always fight, I think, in my opinion, to make this roster. So Rodriguez had 11 carries for 52 yards. Very good game for him, mostly fourth quarter play.
And that was all second half yardage too.
Yeah. But the thing about him is you can't get too excited about that because it was one game. It's the pounding a running back takes week in and week out of whether or not you can depend on him being a true number 3. Yeah. He was in that position last year. His numbers were okay. That's the reason why he had another shot this year, but he failed to crack the roster, right? So now that he's on it,
he had that injury, right? He had that injury.
No, he didn't. But with McNichols, the big thing with McNichols is, he was very ineffective in this game, in my opinion. He ran for eight attempts for 20 yards. It's only 2.5 yard per carry.
Right, exactly.
That ain't going to get it done. So it'll be interesting when Robinson gets healthy, whether or not McNichols goes to their practice squad and we keep Rodriguez as the number 3, as I thought was really supposed to happen at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And like I said, looking at the film, watching the film as a fan, not when I could sit back and watch the runs, it definitely looked like one of them came to the game warmed up and hot and 2 steps faster. It looked like Rodriguez is on the sideline on the tricycle,
Well, I mean, to me,
warmed up. He was.
Well, to me, that makes another point of what you do, because these guys get so little playing time that if your number gets called, you better be ready to go. Yeah. Because if you're not ready to go, you might not be on the team the next week.
Yep.
Right? Like, you're going to get you have to prove yourself in the minimum amount of opportunities that you're going to get. You train day in and day out. You get paid every day you go to work for the moment that you get to get into the game and actually show the world what you're capable of doing. And if you either rise to that occasion, or people go like, what the flip is this dude even doing on the team?
Yep.
Right? Yep. Because you're like scrap. And like, I hate to call them like that because they're NFL players, but you're fighting to stay on a roster. You're trying to fight for your relevancy.
Yeah, when your number's called, you got to put everything out there and go for it, because you might not ever get another chance.
You might never get another chance. You put it all out on the field when you get those opportunities. Especially I thought Rodriguez stepped up, and I really thought that your McCluster duck guy, McNichols, fell short. He fell short of being able to have that opportunity. Like, it's unfortunate because I like to see everybody be successful. You know, they work really hard to get to where they are. But when your moment comes, you got to step up, man. You got to step up.
So I'm going to give an award to the fan base out there this week. Here's some hand claps for you. You know who the award goes to? It goes to Jack. You know why?
Jack!
Remember I told you Jaden Daniels set a record? Well,
yep.
Jack called it out. And you know what that record is that Jaden Daniels set? You're going to love this one. This is the first time we've had a quarterback start against the Giants and sweep them since 1955. That's how long it's been since we had a quarterback start both times against the Giants and sweep them in a season.
Was it a starter or a rookie that started?
No, starting quarterback.
Well, is he the only one that's been a rookie to ever do it?
No, starting quarterback that started.
I feel like he might be the first rookie to ever do it.
I would say, of course.
Like, that would be more impressive to me.
All right, I have to go research that, okay?
Jack might already know the answer. Jack, speak up, man. He might already know. I mean, the dude's a rookie.
I know.
If you try to compare to the NFL and say, like, he's done it, the fact that he's a rookie doing it, to me, is that much more of a bigger deal.
Jack says it's a rookie. I will tell you, 40 – I'm not going to – for all the female fans, I'm not going to tell you. Let's just say 40 some years ago when my father took me in my first game at RFK Stadium against the Giants in the rain. We got our asses handed to us.
You're trying to appeal to all the young ladies out there?
Oh, yes, I am. So I think that is also, with all the stats that Jaden Daniels has piled up already in his rookie year, which is, I mean, he should be competing for MVP. Like, right? Rookie of the Year award, maybe MVP. We'll see how the year fits.
Rookie of the Year
to go, right? But he has set so many records already; it's ridiculous. And there's another one.
Yeah, we just had this conversation. There's records, and then there's records, right? Like, what he's doing is extraordinary. Rookie of the Year for sure.
Both my records tonight.
No, Rookie of the Year for sure, right? Like, NFL MVP is a lot harder award to get.
Yeah.
So we'll see. He just has to keep going. Like, you can't get too far ahead of yourself. We're not even at the halfway point. We are at the eve of screw the election. We're at the eve of the NFL trade deadline.
Yep.
So there's so much football to go.
Oh my God!
Like, so much more football.
We're just in the middle.
Teams out there that haven't even had their bye week yet.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, there's a lot of teams. Yeah, there's a lot of football to go. So, like, I want to see him keep going it. You know, we could all jump on the bandwagon right now. That's the reason why, like, I'm contemplating not going to this Commanders Steelers game this weekend, because everybody jump on the bandwagon and the nosebleed section seats over $300. I ain't paying that.
That is absolute insanity. That's insanity.
I go to a sports bar and eat all the food I can eat and not spend $300.
That's insanity. All right, so here's the next section I want to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead. You got another record for us?
No, not another record now. I want to talk about receiving and what I saw receiving. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what happened last week on the Rays Hail Mary. And that's what we called it. We named the pass of the year, because that will be the pass and catch of the year. That will be in the highlight reels. And we named it. Football Site claimed it. We named it. That is called the Race Hail Mary. That's the name.
The Race Hail Mary.
So and Brown caught that ball. Now what happened to him? Because all of a sudden he got targeted.
I will tell you, like, that's interesting, right? Because he was our leading receiver this week. Besides the fact that, McLaurin got 2 touchdowns, but he was only targeted 3 times and only caught 2 balls for 2 touchdowns, right? But the leading receiver as far as receptions this week was Noah Brown. Noah Brown's always been in the mix every single week. He's been out there, he's been working, he's been kind of plugging away as we've been trying to get this offense going. I think he was a great acquisition. We got him for almost nothing, and he's been out there, but he hasn't really stepped up enough to say he is the number 2 receiver of this team.
He looked like a number 2
blessed with that, right?
Yeah, he looked like a number 2. He looked like a number 2 this week.
He did, but what's the guy got to do before people actually consider him the true number 2 of this team?
A lot more.
Yeah, right. So, because of that, okay, great job, Noah Brown. You've come up, especially the past couple of weeks. You've gotten your name in the headlights a little bit, but we need, keep being consistent, and people might look at you as that number 2. Instead, people around the league right now are talking like, here, the eve of the trade deadline, should we be going out getting another wide receiver? Which you think we should?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll tell you, I watched the first ball that went to him that he dropped. Daniels was off. That was a bad ball. He threw it too high. He was open. He should have thrown low at the knees, and that was catchable. It got knocked away. That was good coverage. I'm okay with that drop. The next ball he got was that one towards the corner, and he drew the flag for pass interference. Great job. He caught the next 4 balls.
Yeah.
And had yak after it. Nice yards after catch. And I was like, whoa, okay, amazing. He stood up and especially came alive in the second half. And I was impressed.
And I was actually kind of not so impressed with the rest of the receiving corps. Mm-hmm. Like McCaffrey was absent.
Where was Luke?
Yeah, Luke was like AWOL. Like, I don't even know if he showed up for work that day.
Yeah, I saw him on one play.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, dude, like, let's get going. Zacchaeus was out there quite a bit, but he wasn't targeted a lot. Zacchaeus caught 2 balls for 48 yards. It's like, really?
And he had a kickoff return. Why did they put him on kickoff return?
De'Ami Brown actually had an amazing catch, made an incredible move.
Yeah.
And for 24 yards, but that was the only ball that he got.
Yep.
Ben Sinnott was like almost absent, but he got 1 ball for 12 yards. I don't even remember even seeing that play, but it's in the stat sheet.
I missed that too. I didn't even see it. I watched the film. Zach caught 2 balls, was targeted twice, and that was it.
Yeah. So it was like I was not impressed with our receiving corps. So obviously, did that make Noah look better than he was because nobody else was doing anything?
Yeah. So, Coach, question for you. What do you have any idea what our from a total game standpoint, the number of passes versus number of run plays was?
Yeah, I can tell you. It
was more run plays, right?
We had 22 pass plays.
And how many were?
And yeah, we had probably something like 30 or 40 run plays. I think it was 38 run plays and 22 pass plays.
Okay.
So we were a lot more run heavy, which was surprising. Especially with the performance of McNichols, but them changing up to Rodriguez, we were able to get it going again. Yeah. And so I get it. And I wasn't expecting that to be the game plan with Robinson being out for sure.
So, and there were a couple called pass plays that Daniels pulled it down. There was nothing open and ran for him. So there was a couple more, but okay. So I'm in full agreement with you, Coach. That's what I saw too. I think that's really good feedback.
Yeah. So looking at the things, here's one of the things I do want to talk about. I agree with Jack. He's doing very well. Going for a rookie of the year. I mean, I really think it is. I think before we start talking about NFL MVP talk, I think we got to wait for the season to kind of get further along doing that. He needs to be putting up 300-yard gains, and he needs to have a couple of games that break out where he has 3+ touchdowns in a game. All right. Yeah. And so we need to see more out of Jayden Daniels than that. And that's tough to do if your receivers are not freaking really getting open and making plays for you.
Yeah, and especially if you're only calling out 25 pass plays in a game, right?
Yeah.
That's not.
But I will tell you, this team is a better team all around with Brian Robinson in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he establishes the run, which sets up the play action and takes the pressure off of, they're not running here, they're passing. Right.
But I sure did like to see that they flipped the script and said, oh, hell no, we're going to run this ball as the primary with our backups and prove to you we can do it. I thought that was impressive from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah, it is. It's not what I would have done, but maybe they did it because they figured it wouldn't be expected.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
So
cool. Yeah, I want to see where we're at after 3 more games, right? We got 3.
Yeah, and the next 3 games are going to be pretty interesting, right? Because we got Pittsburgh, and then we got Philly, and then we got Dallas. So the next 3 games are going to be like, especially Philly and Dallas, those are going to be telltale signs of like how good are we really within the division. Like Pittsburgh's going to be a tough game too. I mean, it's going to be tough. It'll be but I'm very excited about watching the Eagles game, and I'm very excited about watching the Cowboys game. That's where we really know, man. That's where we're really going to know what we're all about.
So overall, out of 9 games, I'd say 3 games our offense was trying to fight itself, right?
Yeah, I would say
the highest scoring team in the red zone this year so far. The entire NFL.
Let's be real. The first month of this season, this team was trying to find its identity.
Right.
We were really trying to figure things out, and guys hadn't gelled yet. What we're seeing now is people gelling together. Remember we talked about that at the beginning of the year? Like,
yeah,
the secret of this team is whether or not they gel together or not, because there's so many new players. And I think the coaching staff has done a good job to get these guys to come together and gel real well.
And the offense has been putting up 27+ points a game, right? Except for the Bears. The Bears, we were off balance somehow offensively.
Right.
But every other game, we've been killing it. Yeah. And so that's made up for holes in the D. But somehow the D's come to play, which brings up my next subject, by the way.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about defense because I was watching – because unfortunately I was at work. I work on Sunday, so I had to listen to the game on radio, and I could only hear the names.
Man, you're like in the dark ages, dude.
I know. They won't let me have a cell phone up in the front of the store.
Man, I'd tell that boss to take his job.
I got a counseling statement. I'm years old and got a counseling statement.
Oh, my goodness, dude.
For watching football.
Now it's at the liquor store, man.
Bring me that form so I can sign it.
Oh, my goodness, man. Won't even let you. Like, that's un-American, man.
Unbelievable.
That's not American. They don't let you watch a football game.
I'm telling you. So there was one more thing on offense.
No, you said we were going to defense already.
I know. There's one more thing I had to tell you about Daniels, though. So Daniels had 2 tipped balls, which surprised me. That's a good defense. And we got away without a sack on the sack-leading team this year. So
that's big. That's a big stat right there.
And we didn't – with the injuries on the offensive line, it's like we were expecting to pour through, but they double-teamed Lawrence. I saw him pulling so much stuff in there.
Right.
I was impressed. Like, really? Like, when I watched the game, I heard the game, but when I watched it, I was like, holy heck, they were coached up.
I tell you what, like, Jayden Daniels just has the it factor to me. Like, he is so fun for me to watch. You never know quite exactly what he's going to do. Like, is he going to take off, bolt and run? Is he going to find a thing? But, like, his poise and his maturity at this stage of his career, to me, is off the charts.
Like, I want to look him up in Madden because I want to see what they gave him for awareness. But in my opinion, he like comes into the NFL as a rookie.
He wasn't high enough.
Awareness. Like, his awareness is off the charts. It's like he has this uncanny sixth sense on when the pocket's gone and he's got to shoot. You know
so
what
the thing about Madden is like it's hard for them to judge rookies coming out of college.
Yeah.
So really, if you want to see what guys really do, you got to see what they look like their second, third year at Madden, right? Because usually they'll take a huge leap, or they're a huge regression depending on how well they did, right? Believe me, Madden's ratings of Jaden Daniels is going to be extraordinarily high next year compared to what he was this year.
His awareness is uncanny.
It really is. And
he's got some natural, innate inside him ability to that cat sense that says, "Oh, danger!" Poof.
And he's got this smoothness about him,
right?
Yeah, and he's got this smoothness about him too, where he's just so composed.
And he's just a little thing. He's like a little thing. I mean, you don't want to get him hit, but holy hen, is he snarky?
Yeah. My big thing is, I always get the RG3 vibes. I just don't want to hurt the young man.
Yeah.
I want him to be our franchise quarterback for a very, very long time because his franchise hasn't had one since probably Joe Theismann.
Yeah.
Right? So, I really so badly want us to have a franchise quarterback that, like other teams around the league have enjoyed for such a long time. I want us 4 years from now to have to freaking pay him $60 million a year because he's our guy.
I think he remembered getting smacked that first game in DC against the Giants. I think he remembered that hit because he definitely I think he got the message on sliding.
All right, so let's go to defense, bro.
Yeah, let's talk about the D. So again, here we are out of nowhere. We were crying about an edge rush and losing Sweat, and out of the blue comes this guy named what? Fowler.
Okay.
He's at 6 sacks halfway through the season. He might have a 10 to 12 sack season.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking really good.
He's looking great.
To me, he's not Montez Sweat by any stretch of the imagination, but he's all we got. But he's all we got, right? I wish we had a bookend guy across from him, right? I wish Montez Sweat was on his team to play across from him. Because can you imagine Fowler and Montez Sweat on the other side?
That would be a beast duo.
Dude, we would have a serious pass rush.
I do not have a problem with Fowler, man. Fowler's out there trying to make a name for himself.
It shows why Dan Quinn and Joe Whitwin said, you know what, we're going to bring him from Dallas with us because we believe in this guy, right? He's the kind of player that we want. We thought the same about Armstrong too. Armstrong's looking decent, right? But he's not. This team needs another edge rusher. Yeah, they really do.
I'm the last 2 weeks I got sold on Fowler, big time over Armstrong. Big time. And I tell you who else had a standout game in the secondary. I have to say, overall, the defense gang tackled. Like there was always people around the ball. They were many. Like their coaching up on move to the ball, I thought was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Chin.
Yeah, Jeremy Chin is a freaking baller, man. He's a physical baller.
Right?
Yeah, I love that guy. I mean, he came from Carolina, and one of the reasons why they kind of recruited him to come here was because Dan Quinn really liked his absolute aggressiveness. He goes, this is a safety that likes to run up and hit like a linebacker.
It's exactly what I saw. That's exactly what did I miss something, or is that right?
Yeah, no, you were right.
Standout game for him.
Yeah, so and he licks his chops, man. When he sees he can put a hit on somebody, he's coming.
So I have a question for you, Coach, about the Giant strategy. I watched it close. Daniel Jones did not try to stretch a field with Neighbors. His deep balls yesterday were 20 yards. That was it. And he had a number of balls in the 15 to 20, maybe 25. He did not try. They did not try to stretch a field. Why is that?
Because
it's our secondary. Why?
Because Daniels has no arm to do that. That's where Daniels gets in trouble. That's the reason why Daniels has been in the fear of losing his job.
You mean Jones?
I mean Jones. That's the reason. Daniel Jones is what I meant.
Okay.
So Daniel Jones, the reason why he's been in the fear of losing his job as much as he always has is because when he does throw deep, it's god awful.
But he did against us in the first game.
Yeah, but like, yeah.
But overall, I mean, he's not that guy.
He's just not that guy. I mean, if he can dink and dunk, and he can be accurate, and he can move the ball, and he can command their offense. This is a team that needs a quarterback. When you talk about the Giants, I'm surprised Daniel Jones is still there. But one of the things that impressed me about Daniel Jones in this particular game was his running ability. I never saw that running ability from him before.
Oh no, he's always been a runner. He's a big boy.
Yeah, but I've never seen him put a hit on two of our defenders going for a freaking touchdown and just running through them.
Who was that? Who tried to take his legs out and fell down and got his skull cracked?
So one was
the end. It was that on the goal line.
Yeah, it was on the goal line there. I'm trying to think of who it was. I think it was Sinistro, and I think it was
Sinistro.
Yeah, and I think it was
number 0.
Yeah, 0 is Sinistro.
Sinistro, yeah. I looked at that and looked at it again, and I replayed it. And I'm like, damn, he put his shoulder down and put that guy down, and then kept his feet and went right around. He's a big. That's a 230-pound quarterback.
Yeah, well, I mean, great. Yeah, but there's most quarterbacks are that big, but you don't see them lowering a shoulder and going through two defenders on a way to a touchdown. I was very impressed with that play. To me, that is the best play I've ever seen Daniel Jones ever do in his career. And it was against us.
It was a thing of beauty. You had
to get props. Beauty.
You had to get
How many quarterbacks
right?
do you see lower shoulder and freaking take out two defenders and goes, no, I'm getting this touchdown.
He wanted that TD.
Hey, he wanted the TD.
D is here. Hey, D, you're in DC. Welcome back, buddy.
All right.
D has a comment. He's saying the neighbors just picked us apart. But they couldn't beat us down the field because they had a high safety the entire game. Maybe that's a good stretch. You said that in one of our reviews a couple weeks back. That's something that you like to see. So somebody's listening. Somebody's listening, Coach.
Somebody's listening, and I love it. You know, it's one of those things where I just tell you. I will tell you one of the reasons why neighbors probably just didn't have, like, for one, there's a lot of trash talking between Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors. Obviously, they were LSU teammates. There's beautiful moments to see them giving a hug each other, jaw jacking, having fun. These two are best friends. They are best friends, and they talk almost every day. And they talk so much trash going into this game, and they were even laughing at each other and talking trash during the game.
It was cool. It was fun to watch.
It was cool. It's fun to watch.
I like
especially since I watch a little LSU football, and I get it. These two are just two class act guys that like having fun.
Yeah.
And they clearly are having fun. And no matter who wins or loses the game, they're still best friends afterwards, right?
Yeah.
It's just really cool. And Malik Neighbors had his moments during the game against us.
Yeah.
But
I saw overall the defense. My opinion was we pitched a bend don't break defense. So they ran on us, right? First half did not look pretty. First half was looking like this game could get ugly. But they didn't break.
Yeah. And we were giving a lot of stuff up underneath because, like, Malik Neighbors had 9 receptions, but for 59 yards.
Right. I mean,
it was all short stuff.
Great coaching. Coaching. Taking the pieces you have and using them in the best way possible against what you understand might happen to you, right?
Yeah, and the other part is if you're going to play the short game like that, I mean, the best coaching that you can do in there is you better have your tackling down, right? Because if they're going to catch the ball on you, they're making moves on you, doing everything else like that, and you got to wrap guys up. You can't let them break tackles on you and get extra yards. And I thought they did a really good job of that. They played a lot of disciplined defense.
They were aggressively attacking on tackles, and I didn't see arm break, I was like, dadgum, man, they did some tackling drills. So I was impressed. But another standout, there was one play in the game that I looked at and I went, there's coaching and professionalism. There is Pro Bowl level thinking. You know what that was? When Jones dropped that ball, when it got hit and he dropped that ball and Wagner picked it up and started scooting toward the end zone, realizing what was going on. Good training. Because they didn't blow that play dead. He had the presence of mind to follow through. So
well, they did blow it dead about halfway down the field when he went there, because otherwise it really could have been a touchdown.
Hell no, the ball's live.
Let's go, right? But in reality, it was a premature whistle by the ref, which that always pisses me off because that should have been a touchdown, right? Like if you're gonna you need to be sure about yourself before you start blowing on your whistle, right? If there's a little bit of a doubt, don't blow the whistle. You can always review it afterwards, but don't call a play dead because that's just bad all around because that should have been a touchdown for us.
Yep. All right, I've got one. There is something that stood out looking at this game from a coaching standpoint that I never saw before, from a fan standpoint. And I'm thinking, I've never seen this before. I don't understand this. I don't get it. What the hell is going on? Because this looks stupid. And if I'm a defender, this is so easy to read. On every play, I won't say on every play. On the vast majority of plays where you see it, our center, Biatz, before he hikes the ball, the play is being called. Daniel's, here's the rider, Fricka 49 West. Biatz does this. Dips his head down like he's nodding. Like, and then hike to his leg. I'm like, you're signaling that you're going to hike the ball. Did you see it?
I wasn't paying attention to that, actually.
I wasn't either until I saw it. I'm like, was that something special? And then I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on? And then I looked at it. I'm like, he's doing it every single play.
He's worried about his own time, and he doesn't mind broadcasting it, huh?
Is that crazy?
A little bit.
There's 8 of you out there. What do you think about Biaz going and then hiking the ball, giving it to Daniels? What's up with that? Am I missing something?
I will tell you, there was a time, at least in high school football, where I had that. If you had any head movement on offensive line, they would call it a false start. You're supposed to be
waiting for the flag.
Yeah, that's right. But I will tell you, if it's acceptable in the league, it makes it harder for you then to go with the hard count, right? So, are you just not having a hard count as part of your game?
Is that a game
because people, because edge rushers, if they get the timing down right, they can have a split second kind of head start on you to kind of beat your guys, right? If they're off the head snap. So
thank you.
I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. I know, I think that's Shaq that's there on the line. But yeah, Coleman had a great game. You're right. Coleman, this was his first NFL start, I believe. Mm-hmm. And we've been waiting to see what he's been about. And I agree. I thought he had an extraordinary game the whole week.
Against the best.
The whole, which was a weak effort, right? Because he probably has been working his butt off in practice for this moment.
And I was worried about that Giants defense. I was worried.
I actually thought that they were going to start Trent Scott on the left or move Wiley to the left. I really wasn't sure if Brandon Coleman was ready, but they put him in there. That's the reason why we drafted him. That's the reason why we didn't sign another left tackle, apparently. And it was nice to see him finally in the game and actually hold his own. And I thought he did.
Yeah. I mean, Dan Quinn's made me eat my words and all the teasing that I gave the Redskins, the Commanders this season up front about not having a left tackle. I almost have to take off his hat and start eating that.
No, you don't have to eat it because I think it's still legit. I mean, these guys are playing way above their level.
They're doing great.
They're being coached. The whole line has been shocking, just as Shaq was out there saying. I mean, it has been a shock on how well they played. I'm telling you that offensive line coach has been working his butt off with these guys.
If we were in Madden and this offensive line overall is a 72, they're playing like they're 82.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I do play with these guys in Madden, and they suck. The offensive line sucks. Right?
Wait a minute. So your experience in Madden, they're not playing as good as we are in real life?
Yeah, not the old line. I'm
talking about
Sam Cosmi, who's just a really good offensive lineman. To me, being a franchise Madden player, I will tell you, he's the only guy I look on there as being a true starter. Wiley is sometimes suspect and messes up just like he does in real life, but he's been kind of coming around a little bit. The rest of them are all kind of like, no, but they're really stepping up in real life, where in Madden is just like, nah. Mm-hmm. But Anyway, I'm not trying to be all on Madden right now, but like I'm just saying.
It's just you know what? You know how Madden this year got Mahomes' little finger.
Yeah,
thingy?
Mahomes' little twig.
I'm gonna pull up a Commanders game to see if Biaz is doing this before every snap.
I'm kind of curious. I don't think he is because I do play them, and I'd never noticed that. So.
You got to go back and watch the film, and you'll see it. If you're looking, you'll see it immediately. Like I said, I caught it one time. I'm like, was he looking down? But then the very next play is like boom, and then snap, boom. Then I'm like, what is going on? Are they giving away the call? The call signal.
Yeah, the snap
Daniels doesn't have a chance of pulling one offside if he's doing that.
Yeah. I mean, you can't do a hard count that way. I don't think it'd be difficult. I mean, I guess you could. You can go, hey, go up there and do this, but we're not snapping the ball. But
maybe that's a trick they're setting up to play.
Yeah, they might be setting that up in a critical situation to do that. We'll draw somebody off sides if they're cheating a little bit. But like,
interesting.
Who knows? Like, there's always counters to anything, right? But but we're going to get into it a little bit here because we are on the eve of the trade deadline, and I want to know from the fans, and I want to know from you, Large Sarge. Are we going to make a move, and what is it that everybody thinks we need?
Well, I'll start off by telling you what the buzz is up here in D.C. And the buzz
buzz in D.C.
But the buzz is wide receiver first, cornerback second.
So I would tell you,
there just isn't that fantastically outstanding. They feel that we need a good number two more than they feel we need a corner. And there aren't fantastic choices at corner out there that they think they can achieve. That's kind of the buzz. They think they have a better shot to get a better wide receiver than they do to get a corner.
Wow, because I look at that exact opposite from everybody else. I will tell you, I would think that there's a higher propensity for us to get a corner than a wide receiver. Mm-hmm. And I think it would make more sense that we can get a corner than a wide receiver.
I'd agree.
And I'll tell you the guy that I think is very doable for corner is Marshawn Lattimore. I want everybody to ask me, everybody fans chime in. Shaq, chime in. I think Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints is very achievable for us to get. You're talking about a Pro Bowl caliber player who's 28 years old, who is now on a team who just today fired their head coach.
Yes, they did.
Allen is out. This is a guy who doesn't want to be on this team anymore because he wants to go somewhere and win. And I'm telling you, this is a prime moment, the day before the trade deadline, to say, I want to be traded to a team because I want to compete to win. And I want to go somewhere exciting. He still has 2 years remaining on his contract, so it's very lucrative. And if you're the Saints, you're looking at rebuilding anyway. So this is a time for them to collect draft picks and for us to get a corner to put in this defense that could be a freaking difference maker for our defense.
So the other thing, Coach, you're on there is that right now we have a winning season. So guys that are out there that are Pro Bowl caliber that are saying, hell, I ain't going nowhere, and this year's dead to me. I'm not going to get any stats. I'm not going to improve my value. Get me the hell out of here and get me on a team that's winning so that I can get stats, so I can get my paycheck up.
Yeah.
Washington is a nice place to go right now.
Washington is a great place to go. I'm telling you that there are 4 teams looking at them right now. I will tell you that right now. The Chiefs are looking at them. The Ravens are looking at them. The Commanders are looking at them. And your Lions are looking at them. So, but I will tell you, out of all those teams, the team that should attract him the most when you have 2 years on your contract, it should be a team like the Washington Commanders because they're up and coming. They're hungry. There's a good vibe going on. There's excitement in the city. There's a lot of great things. I know the Chiefs are the Chiefs, right? But but if you were looking at a corner as what team out of all those teams really, really badly needs a corner, it's the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, there's a buzz, right? There's a buzz.
There's a buzz here.
And you can come here and shine. If you're good, you'll stand out and you'll shine.
And I know Marshawn Lattimore watches this show just like all players watch this show. So, Marshawn, I'm going to tell you right now, go to the Commanders, baby.
Yeah.
No.
Jack is saying Marshawn and Ty Higgs. Dia is saying he was going to put up Lattimore. He sees it. But he's saying that New Orleans and Carolina are going to have a fire sale right now.
They are. Now, Ty Higgins is another interesting prospect too. But I will tell you, let's get real for a second. Adam Peters, right? Adam Peters right now is, he had the offseason of who bringing in splash players, and he didn't do it. He had the number 2 overall pick for the waiver wire coming out, and he didn't do it. When the final cuts came down, there was a lot of players out there, and there's people who wanted to move, guys like Brandon Ayuk and other kind of players, all that stuff. Like, he made a lot of phone calls. He never pulled a trigger on anything. Throughout this first 8 weeks, there's been other names that have come up. He hasn't pulled a trigger on anything. We've always needed tackles. We never went out and got one. We always talked about wide receivers. We talked about wide receivers when we got rid of Jahan Dotson, and we didn't go and get another one. We talked about needing more edge rushers. And
are
we
you
didn't.
In his ear? Are you in his ear? You seem to have you seem to have like you have Jaden Daniels' sixth sense on him and how he thinks. There's something to what you're saying is what I'm saying. There's something you seem to have an understanding of this guy.
I do, and so I wouldn't be surprised. Don't be surprised, fans, if he does absolutely nothing.
Nada, right?
Nada. We'll go. He needs a wide receiver. He needs a corner. He needs a left tackle. He needs an edge rusher, and he does nothing because that's been his track record since he's been in Washington. He got his initial players in training camp, and since then he's basically done nothing.
He sat on it.
He sat on it. And I gave you guys my theories before. If you've been watching this show, it's because I believe Washington doesn't have any money.
Yeah, they
don't want to do it. But here's the thing about a trade deadline. Let me back up. Adam Peters also coveted draft picks. He doesn't like to give up a draft pick at all. He wants to collect them. If he gives up one, it's because he wants another one in return if he makes a move. He likes to have the numbers of picks that he has. So, to think that he's going to trade draft picks to go get a Mike Williams at wide receiver, or a Trey Higgins, or a Michael Thomas, or a Marshawn Lattimore, it doesn't seem like his style. How badly we want him to do it. Because I will tell you, I would love to have Mike Williams in our wide receiver room. I would love to have, Marshawn Lattimore in our DB room. And I think that those two players in particular are two that we're good. I don't think T. Higgins is something that we could do personally. I don't think we're going to get to agree to terms on that. Michael Thomas, possibly. Out of those that I think that's really probable would be Mike Williams. And I think Marshawn Lattimore is definitely a possibility there. Marshawn Lattimore is going to be more expensive. You're going to have to give up, they're going to want a second for him. And I think that's way too rich for Adam Peters.
You don't think Peters would give up a second?
Consider a third, but the Chiefs would offer a third.
But do you think
Ravens would offer a third?
They you started the year off, right? And you got your team, right? And you're like, well, let's see what happens. I don't think anyone thought we were going to be 7-2 at this point in the season.
Yeah.
So they got to be looking at it going, well, wait a minute. Oh, crap. We got a chance to make some moves to guarantee our success to get into the playoffs and maybe even go deep. Where that probably wasn't even in the top of their mind. They were just hoping to do better than 4 games when the season kicked off, and then they lost to Tampa Bay, right? They're like, oh crap, here comes the storm, right? And all of a sudden they get on fire, and we're 7 wins in. I think that changes your picture. I think that changes Peter's outlook, saying, well, crap, I wasn't expecting this, but if you're right, it's kind of like being in Vegas, man, and your dice are hot. You got to roll some more dice. You got to throw the dice.
Yeah, I got that, but I will tell you that I'm just amazed at how just chilled Adam Peters is. He's always bargain shopping, and he is not going to just pull the trigger on somebody just because we think we need it. Because the flip side of that, he's thinking, well, I'm winning now without him, right?
Right.
So whatever
I did, it's working. So
whatever I did is working. So stop complaining.
Yeah. Why change it?
Right. Why change it?
Save my money for next year and pad up even more next year.
Yeah, because he always wants to get younger and younger and younger. and I get that.
And
But
the
I
way the
think
league is working now, that's not a bad thing.
I want to go back to what you're saying. I don't think wide receiver is number one in my opinion. I think if they make a move, it's going to be corner. I think it would be a guy like Marshawn Lattimore. I would say that would be number one. Probably wide receiver number two.
And who do you think Lattimore would replace? Who would they sit?
I believe that you're going to move either Sinistrel or you'd move St-Juste into the slot, which would be interesting because they've been kind of going safety strong lately. So it would be very interesting. But the concern there at corner is St-Juste. Yeah, he's solid. He's okay. He's doing well. Sinistrel is really, really growing. He's doing okay. He's doing well. But you need another DB on the field.
He had a bad game. He had a bad game, Coach.
Yeah, I know. And so
that awful penalty.
And so I think when you're looking at Sinistrel and you're looking at St-Juste, you can kind of almost rotate him in through and out. Like you can kind of bring him in and out. You can bring set up different packages to keep him fresh, to keep him hungry. But you need a true number one corner, and St-Juste ain't it. And Sinistrel is too new.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree.
So I think it just would bring so much more to have a guy like Lattimore, especially to develop a guy like Sinistrel.
Right.
Especially to raise the bar on St-Juste. Jeremy Shinn's doing freaking extraordinarily well. But outside of that, we could use more help on the backside.
Well, we've also dogged Chin a bit. He's had a couple lousy games. This one was absolutely his best game this year so far. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you. Bringing a Lattimore in would definitely raise the bar just kind of like bringing Wagner in, raise the bar in the linebacker core, right?
Yeah, and why I'm so high on Lattimore is this, because he's still signed on his current contract through 2026. And so if you get him in, all of his bonus money gets paid by the previous team. He doesn't come as a cap penalty if he doesn't work out and we try to move him. So because the Saints will accumulate the cap penalty. I know I'm getting a little technical on this, but we'll get him at a discount from that through 2026. That is huge to bring in a player like that if you're going to give up draft capital, you want some kind of assurance. And he is a proven commodity that for the next 3 years, for the rest of this year and 2 more seasons, you've got a shutdown, a dynamic Pro Bowl caliber corner that's going to be able to light things up with this football team, over the next few years. And I love that idea. And now, if we can get away with doing that with like a third and maybe a fifth to put this package together, a third and a fifth, I think
not only do you bring up the DB, bring up one side of the field to lock it down, which makes it's great that puts us in a better position for the opposition to have to game plan against us. You bring the floor for your other guys in there that are sharp but don't have the experience. They start getting that knowledge and they start improving. So the whole floor of that core comes up.
So here's the other thing is about Lattimore is we have a good relationship between the general managers with the Saints.
Oh, really?
Because in the offseason, we worked a deal to trade with the Saints at the beginning of the season. For those who don't remember, we traded John Ridgway to them beginning of the season. So I know that these two general managers have a working relationship that has a proven track record where they can get a deal done. John Ridgway is an outstanding defensive tackle that we gave up to the Saints. It was great for John Ridgway. It was great for the Saints. We were very deep at the position. And so it just kind of was a win-win situation all the way around. And when you have when you coming off of a good deal in the same year with the general manager, the probability of having another good deal it only goes higher.
Makes a lot of sense.
So
that makes a lot of sense there, Coach.
And the other thing is we have an extra third-round pick this year for the trade that we did earlier in the year. So, this is an opportunity where we could trade like a third and a fifth and get a guy like Lattimore. To me, Lattimore makes complete and utter sense. I'm not going to keep beating the dead horse, but if there's one move that I think that just totally makes sense for this football team, it's Marshawn Lattimore from the New Orleans Saints.
All right, let's see what history gives us here, right? Well, tomorrow's going to be a good day. We'll talk about it next show, right?
Yeah, we sure will. And I will tell you what, like tomorrow's going to be a good day. Everybody don't get too overly emotional about the election. Your release, watch the trade deadline. Watch the trade deadline and see what happens.
All right, Coach, I gotta get you, and all you fans that are still out there watching us, I gotta get your beat. I want to see in the chat box. What's your call on the Steelers game? I want to know who's going to win this game. What do you think?
Give us a score too.
I'm going to throw mine out there.
What's yours, Lars?
Oh, y'all going to hate on me. You're going to hate on me.
You're not picking the Steelers, are you?
Yeah, I am.
You sorry, bastard.
Yeah, I am.
You're a communist, man.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't want to have my Lions play the Commanders in the playoffs.
I want the Lions to play the Commanders in the playoffs.
No, I'm kidding. No, I think the Steelers are a more complete team with great coaching, and they're going to have. I would say they're going to have a hell of an offensive effort to overcome J.J. Watt and some other things. They're going to push our offensive line like they haven't been pushed yet, and that's not good. Daniels is going to have a perfect game. And if we can score 30 points, we can win it. I don't think we're going to get there. I think it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, huh?
Yep. I think it's going to be our hardest game of the season.
All right, well, come on, fans. Put your scores on there. Who do you predict to win the game? Is it the Washington Commanders?
Nothing.
And what is the score? What are y'all going with? Because I'm curious on what people are going to say. I will tell you, like, Steelers.
Listen, if we're going to get beat, I mean, I called the Ravens getting beat by the Ravens, but we played the Ravens hard. Like, that was a win for us because of how we played, in my opinion, right? And I feel the same about this game. If we play them tough and we play them to the end, we still lose, it's a great game because we're learning, we're still improving, right?
Yeah. Well, I would say, like, to me, like, I'm just not going – I'm on the freaking Commanders bandwagon. I'm not going to freaking pick against them. I want them to win every game. I'm not going to be – I'm not going – but, you know, realistically, we're going to have to drop a game at some point.
Woo! But, Jack, 31-27 Commanders.
I like that score. I can live with that. And then it also goes with what you say, Lard Sarge. They got to put up at least 30 points to win it. So, like, Jack kind of agrees with you. Commanders got to put up 31 points, win 31-27.
This is going to be the
toughest, what Jack said.
This is going to be the toughest defense we played. Well, no, it won't be. The Ravens were. But this will be the number one or number two defense we've had to play against, and we lost against the Ravens. So
who's your starting quarterback? Is it Fields or is it friggin' Wilson?
Wilson. It's Wilson. And he's good, and he's healthy, and he's crafty. He's looking like Wilson from 3 years ago.
No, don't say that.
He is.
Just for that, I'm going to call Commanders winning this game.
All right, man. Well, I'm not saying, you folks, I'm not saying I don't want the Commanders to win. I'm just.
Yeah, you did. That's what I heard.
I'm trying to be real about it. This is not the Lions we're talking about, right? It's the Commanders.
It's because he's a real Lions fan that he don't believe in the Commanders as much, man. Don't listen to Large Sarge, man. Y'all keep the faith on this thing. Y'all go over there and sing hell to the Redskins. You guys wear all your gear. We're going to win this football game, baby. We're going to freaking tear the freaking Steelers up.
Hey, you know what? For $300 for a nosebleed seat, we better win this game.
I'm telling you, everybody's going to be looking for a refund.
Unbelievable. What? Oh, my.
That's too expensive for me, man.
I'm wondering how many Steelers fans are going to be in that stadium.
There's some rich people in Pittsburgh. There's going to be a few of them in there. The average DC fan don't want to pay no $300 for a ticket.
No, And I'll tell you, when we went to that Giants game, that first Giants game, we were shocked at how many Giants fans were in the stadium because no one believed. I don't think it would be the same now. We got a lot of believers in DC.
I will tell you what's going to make the difference is if Brian Robinson's healthy.
He should be, right? He's playing.
Yeah, he's dealing with a hammy issue, and he really wanted to go on this one. He was in pregame warmups, and the coach didn't like what he said because he was experiencing tightness.
Yeah.
So another week off, I would say he's probably going to have a light practice this week, and then they're going to run him again. hard at the end of the week to kind of test it out, and he should be good to go.
I
If
think
he's healthy, oh my goodness, we're going to see some freaking hard football, man.
Didn't I hear from you, Coach, that Dan Quinn talked to him on the sideline and he was pissed off that he wasn't playing?
Yeah, he was pissed. He wanted to play.
He's playing against the Steelers.
He wanted to play, and then Dan Quinn had to go talk to him and just say, "Man, we kind of gotta take it easy with
So, I
you.
mean,
We're playing the long game." And he didn't like the answer, but like he understood it. But like he's a competitor, he wants to play.
All in all, it's not a bad thing because we got to really work in our number 3 and 4 RBs on that game. They got some experience. They got some come up.
Without him,
and we won without him. So he's going to come in.
It's actually a smart move. It's actually a smart move because we are going up against the Steelers, then the Eagles, and then the Cowboys. And you want a healthy Brian Robinson, right?
He's going to come in on fire, dude.
Yeah, he's going to come in really, really
angry. He's going to be angry.
And he just plays that way anyway. Man, I remember when he got shot last year. It only took him a couple of weeks to turn around. He was out there playing football after being shot twice.
That is the craziest.
That's a hardcore dude, man.
Craziest, most awesomest comeback story because we thought, oh no, you know what I mean? And then the fact that he was able to come back and fight through that injury.
Yeah.
Shot in the butt cheek. Love it. Love that guy. I love serious. I know you don't think I do love him. Seriously, he's an amazing player. He really is. But
he's my dude, man. He's
gonna have to bring his A+ game for us to beat the Steelers.
Yeah, to me, we haven't had a running back like him since Cliff Portis. And
I don't know if we can beat the Steelers trying to bust the run like we did. I think we're going to have more pass plays than we have running plays. But
but the beauty of that is you give another weapon to him because you can save Austin Ekeler's skill set to actually do more catching out of the backfield. But the guy who's like pounding the ball is Brian Robinson, right? So it actually works so much better when he's in the game.
Gives us more flexibility on offense. I agree.
Yeah. And I'm excited about that game. I think it's going to be a good one. I don't think I'm going to go see it in live. I don't know if freaking Shaq is actually going to the game or not because them tickets are expensive.
Well, I'm sure he's going to be there giving hell.
He'll be in the parking lot. He'll be in the parking lot regardless.
He's going to give hell to the Terrible Towel people. I know he is.
Oh, he is. He's going to be out in the parking lot freaking talking crap to every last one of them.
Dia is a freak in the stadium, man. It's hard to watch the game because he draws so much attention.
He really is, man. That dude stirs up stuff with everybody he comes in contact with. But the thing that's a beauty about him, that if he doesn't go to the game, he'll be in that parking lot. He'll eat somebody's food from a tailgate, and he'll be out there talking so much crap to everybody out there, even if he don't get in. I love Shaq. But anyway, guys, this has been a great show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please tell a buddy about this show. Have it come on. We're on every week. Next week is Veterans Day. All right, so we're going to put together a good show. We're going to talk about the Steelers and getting ready for the Eagles. So, we want to have a great time. Tell a buddy. Have them come hang out on our show. We want to hear from you. This is Football Psych, and we're out of here, baby. HTTR, baby, HTTR.